What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update. We're going to start off talking about injury updates, seeing as the injury-ravaged squad, we're dying to get these players back. And we're going to start off with Ali Gold's update regarding Mickey van de Ven and James Maddison. And he says Mickey van de Ven is ahead of James Maddison in the race to return to Postecoglou's side early next year and has begun some outdoor running, but both players will only be back in group training, let alone match action, when there is no chance of a reoccurrence of their retrospective hamstring and ankle injuries, which is obviously the right path to take. We did hear from Paul O'Keefe, which we gave you in an update on Friday, saying that Mickey van de Ven could be back as early as the Burnley Cup game, which is the 5th or 6th of January. Would you like to maybe, even if he is ready, just to keep him fresh for that Man United game on the 14th, because it is like quite some gap between the Burnley game to the Man United game, I think 8 or 9 days.
I'll leave that up to the medical staff. They say he's ready, and then he's fit to play. But if he's 100%, then there's no reason to hold him back from even if he could be ready for the Man United game. There's always going to be a bit of hesitancy when we're so short of options, and he's had that hamstring injury and fans are always going to have a bit of trepidation putting him in. But if the medical staff says he's ready, then there's no point holding him back just because of a fear that he might reoccur the injury. If there's that fear, then he shouldn't be. Then he's not 100% ready, and he shouldn't be in the team. So as long as that is subsided, you put him in when he's ready.
Yeah. And in terms of Lo Celso, Dan Kilpatrick says that Lo Celso is thought to be a doubt to face Everton on Saturday with a muscle strain, and the Giovanni Lo Celso frustrations continue.
And his classic Gio, we hear last week is a minor problem. Should be only 1 game. Now it's 2 games. And then if he misses the Brighton game, there'll be 3 games all of a sudden. So it seems to be a recurring pattern with Gio. Something minor escalates into something a bit more serious. Look, we'll see. Maybe he'll be back for Brighton, and maybe it's a bunch of rubbish what I'm saying. I'm just saying that's usually what happens with Gio. We hear that he has a little niggle, and then it goes on, and he's out for then all of a sudden he's out for a month or 2.
I've seen this happen at Spurs so often, though. I mean, it's happened with Ryan Sessegnon. It's happened with Eric Lamela. I mean, how many times does this have to happen with these players that we have on our books?
At some point,
surely it's just a small little niggle and then they're out forever.
At some point, you've got to look at the medical staff. If that's what they're saying and they're continually getting it wrong, they should stop giving the fans false hope. Either just say we don't know, or stop saying it's something small and then he's out for a month.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's very frustrating.
In terms of potential transfers, we're going to talk about Richarlison up first, as the Mail reporting that Spurs are aware that Richarlison still remains a target for Saudi Pro League side Al Ittihad, who were keen on the Brazilian in September, and he still remains a target. I mean, with the form that Richarlison's on at the moment, surely it's not a situation where we're thinking of letting him go in January.
No, definitely. Even if he wasn't in this form, I don't think we would be wanting him to go, because we know Son's out. So we can't afford to be letting any more attackers go. We've got so many injuries, and we got injuries in the forward line to Perisic as well and Solomon. So we're really lacking in numbers right now in that forward line. So thank God that Richarlison's in the form that he's in, and I'm delighted for him, and hopefully he can continue this. But we're absolutely going to need him in January, and I don't think he's probably going to be pushing for a move. Why would he want to leave just when he's hitting form? I don't think that makes sense for him either. So I don't see it happening in January. But in the summer, we'll have to wait and see, because maybe he has a bad end to the season again, and all of a sudden you start to think 2 seasons, yes, he might have a good run of form, but if the majority has been bad, maybe it's time to let him go. But I think that's a decision for the summer. I think right now there's no reason to think about selling him, and we're going to need him. He's in good form. Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm liking what I'm seeing on the pitch from Richarlison. The last 2 games since the end of his surgery, 3 goals, which actually brings his tally to 7 goal contributions already this season, which is nothing to be sniffed at. It's a really good return so far for the amount of minutes that he's played anyway, and he's starting to look a bit more free on the pitch. We're starting to see the real Richarlison come out, and I think that he needs to keep up this form, to be honest, especially as, like you say, we're going to desperately need him in January when Sonny goes to the Asia Cup. But let's talk about Eric Dier now, as a publication called the Metropolitan magazine. I mean, I'm not
going to pretend to know who they are, but they say Eric Dier will definitely be leaving Tottenham as the contract renewal is not even a possibility. Roma technical director Thiago Pinto is a big fan of the defender and could appease Jose Mourinho by moving to sign him next month. I think regardless of incomings in the centre-back area, I think we should be looking to move Eric Dier on. And these Roma rumours don't seem to be going away, do they?
Yeah, and I think kind of people are putting two and two together, and because of his time with Jose. So we'll have to wait and see whether that interest is serious or not. It just seems to be one that keeps cropping up, but never seems anything serious, to be honest. Never seems like a bid or anything or any serious interest. Always seems to be kind of paper talk. So I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. I think for his sake, he should leave in January. I think it's better for everyone if we can just part ways as soon as possible. I don't think it helps anyone, him being part of the squad when he's not really fancied by Postecoglou. There are times where he's available, yet Ange is picking Emerson and Davis. That's no way for Dier to be having fullbacks picked ahead of him at centre-back. And Ange can't just appease him just because he's only senior centre-back. If he's not fit up for the job, and if Ange believes fullbacks are better suited to what he wants to do than Dier, I think 100% Ange is right in doing that. But from Dier's point of view, he's a senior centre back and he's being picked behind fullbacks for the job, and that's no way for his career to go. You know what I mean? It's embarrassing. Yeah. It is. So I just think for everyone, it can't be a good thing for have that around. Like the other players must look at that and feel sorry for him that he can't even get in ahead of fullbacks. And I just think it's probably just best for everyone if he parts. But he had the chance to leave in the summer. He didn't. So whether he continues to dig his heels in, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I guess the positive thing is even if he does stay past the January transfer window, that his contract only has 6 months remaining from now. So I guess that's the only positive thing, that this Dier saga won't go on for that much longer.
Yeah.
Next up, a potential incoming, and this one is really interesting, as Simon Jones from the Daily Mail claims that representatives from Nice defender Jean-Clair Todibo are understood to have held further talks with Tottenham officials early last week to establish how much he is wanted. Todibo is keen to join Ange Postecoglou's squad and is valued at £35 million. Obviously, he was heavily linked with Manchester United over the summer. We were linked heavily with Edmond Tapsoba. Obviously, that one seemed a bit too expensive for us, but if we can get someone of Todibo's quality over the line for something like 35-40 million, I think that would be an absolute bargain and an absolutely brilliant deal Spurs could do.
100%. I think he's a real defender, that exactly what we want: aggressive, composed, good on the ball. Obviously he has played in only a Liga, but he's 23, can grow into his role at Tottenham, can play on the right or the left side of centre back as well. I just think he would be a really good fit for us, and comes in a good age, and can battle with both Van der Ven and Romero for a starting spot. Could even potentially play backup fullback potentially as well with his skill set, I think. So for me, makes complete sense. Really helps up the quality of our centre backs as well, and I just think has really high potential. So I would jump at the chance to sign if we can, but it's about whether we can convince him to come here, or maybe someone else will offer him first team football, and maybe we're saying, look, you have to come here, but you have to battle for your place and you have to fight for it, and you're not guaranteed to start. Maybe if he goes to maybe Man United could come in and say, look, you're in, that you'll come and you'll be starting 100%, you'll be our main centre back, and they'll be up to him to decide what's better for his career. I do think he'll thrive in Ange's system, and maybe we could sell that to him, and maybe we can sell that his versatility. Or if he can be versatile, that could help us. Or maybe even, Van der Ven can shift out on the left sometimes or something, and he can play in centre back. Gives us more options. But I'm not convinced we will be able to pull it off. But I think if we can, it'll be a brilliant signing.
Yeah, I mean, the report does say that he is keen to join Spurs, and do you think that if we do sign a defender of that quality, it lessens the need a little bit to buy a left back in the short-term future? Because, like you say, a Todibo or a Van der Ven could maybe play the backup role to Destiny Udogie.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if we're looking at one in January, but maybe I think in the summer, regardless, we'll have to look at one. But definitely lessens the need, because you have different options, and obviously Davis then can become your de facto backup left back anyway. He doesn't have to fill in at centre back if we've got Todibo. So Yeah, 100%.
I think it just ticks all the boxes of what we're looking to get out of a centre-back, bringing in Todibo. And for him playing at Nice, I think it's a deal that we have to do. If he's interested in coming and the price point isn't like crazy high, like over 50 million, then just get the deal done. It's a no-brainer completely. But let's finish off with a bit of light-hearted quotes from Dejan Kulusevski talking about him wearing this mask. It does seem like he's got a bit of superpowers when wearing this mask, and he says it feels good. It gives me a little more power, so it's good. I like it. I push the secret button on the mask before kickoff, and off we go. I've not worn one before. I broke my nose, and that is what I have to do to protect it. The doctor says I have to wear it for 1 month. If I keep playing like this, I might keep it. And this is actually what I was saying a few last week, saying, look, he needs to keep this mask now. He needs to make it like his thing to have that mask on. Because first of all, I think it suits him. And second of all, he's been absolutely insane since he's put it on. So just keep that mask, Decky. That's what I say.
Maybe it makes him more intimidating, this guy, this faceless guy in a mask coming at you. Makes defenders scared. You know, he's been brilliant. And he said it gives him a little bit of an edge, he feels like. So I'm all for it. In Decky in the mask, we should keep it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. Do head out to our website, WeAreTottenhamTV.com, as well, for all your latest Tottenham articles. Thank you very much for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.